Well, we, at the very outset, you must understand that we've been living in this environment for many years. Ours is a newspaper trying to do a newspaper job, not make a point. We do have political views and very strong ones. We've been against apartheid before, when the word was invented about 60 years ago. And this paper has been closed down before, and it has been set alight, and it's been burnt down by under different political regimes and for different political reasons. But in these last 10 years, since 77, so the last 12 years, since the closing down of one of our sister papers, The World, we have been living in this environment of threat. And from the moment of the implementation of the first security laws, not security laws, the emergency regulations, we've had 4 waves of emergency regulations. From the moment of that first attempt to censor the press, we have said reporters should not censor themselves. We would take a decision on every story at this desk or another desk, and then monitor ourselves and monitor the amount of censorship and tell our readers. That was the ideal. What happened was, first of all, they said, if you'll tone down your reporting, we will not institute formal censorship. And I have to confess that many of my colleagues, almost every one of my colleagues, thought this would be one way of getting round the censorship. My view was that it was not, and I said we will not tone down our reporting. I don't know what you mean by toning down. We are trying to report accurately right now. So then they introduced censorship 3 months later. From that day on, as I said, we had to tackle each form of censorship as it came along. And we have said to reporters, do not censor yourselves. We will do it for you if we have to. We will take a decision in every case. Ideally, that was our ideal, and that's the way we said about it. In fact, what happened over this long period is that almost all the sources of extra-parliamentary anti-opposition, anti-government opposition, were either banned, or they fled, or they were imprisoned, or they gave up trying to provide information which would probably not get into the paper anyway. So the number of times we were able to say this report has been censored was reduced. And I have to tell you that numbers of reporters gave up trying to report certain areas. I think that's understandable. They'd say, well, why should I put in a report when all that's going to happen is a little notice saying, cutting it down to 3 paragraphs and saying this report has been censored. So I suppose there was an erosion again of spirit amongst the reporting staff. There certainly was a heavy clampdown on all those sources, and our reporting clearly became unbalanced at that point.